Here in San Diego, it's the first time in 1996 the unlimited hydroplanes have raced their turbine engines on salt water. Ron Brown, the Budweiser crew chief, one of the innovators who figured out the systems used today for saltwater racing. Ron, what do you have to do different here?
Well, Steve, that's correct. In freshwater, we don't normally care if we get a little bit of water in the inlet. So this is normally where we run the forward part of our inlet. But in the saltwater conditions, we learned from the way the boat got on plane and got off plane was a big problem getting salt in the engine. So we added this extension onto the front of the inlet. And by moving this forward, we're able ourselves now to have no salt get into the engine.
Now you've come up with a couple of other innovations as well.
Yes, Steve, as the boat planes off, this sponson digs very hard into the water. Normally the water would just shoot right up through here into the inlet. So by putting this splash rail on here, it deflects the water down, stopping a lot of that water from going into the engine of the Miss Budweiser.
And any salt water that does get into this extended intake has to go through this big filter before it gets to Miss Budweiser's turbine engine. Ron, it looks like the air cleaner on my car, but a whole lot bigger.
Yes, it does, Steve, and it works on somewhat of the same principles. We manufacture this composite filter in our own shop, and it has a fine wire mesh in it that does a very good job at effectively getting all the fine particles out, keeping the engine in Miss Budweiser very clean in salt water.
Well, here's the ladder for Heat 1B. In lane 1, it'll be Miss Budweiser with Mark Evans. Lane 2, we'll see Miss Vaughn's Scotty Pierce. He won this in '91. Computers and applications, Ken Muscatel in lane 3. It'll be Miss Exide, Mike Jones in lane 4. And on the outside, Todd Yarling in the repaired Mill Bay Casino. During testing, the Miss Budweiser had a driver debut. Anheuser-Busch Vice President of Brands, August Busch IV. Put your helmet on first. He gets a little schooling there from driver Mark Evans prior to his run. Now, August Busch IV is driving this big red rocket as we look. This is the first time he's ever driven a turbine. He's had success in the offshore division, and he kicks it around the course at 136 miles an hour to qualify the boat, and the minimum qualifier is 130. I had a chance to talk to August Busch and Bernie Little after the run. Can you believe, Bernie, that he qualified the boat?
Yes, I can. I can believe that because he's done a lot of boating and a lot of offshore, so I'm real proud of him.
How does it compare to anything else you've ever driven?
Nothing I've ever driven could compare to that, Jimmy. That was unbelievable, but I'll keep selling beer and leave Mark to the driving. That was unbelievable.
Well, Todd Yarling not having a real good weekend. We know that boat had damage earlier in the weekend. They tried to get it going. The rest of the field is charging to the start line, and there's the green. Miss Budweiser right away goes up into the lead position. Now, Mark Evans took this seat partway into the season. He's had a couple of heat wins. He has yet to have a championship win. Will this be a good day for Mark Evans? Who knows? Right now, he's leading this race. That's all he's concerned about. He's not looking any further than this particular heat.
And Mark Evans has improved every single race as we go along toward the season. He's running on very smooth water here on Mission Bay. It's a saltwater course. Notice the extended air intake over the cockpit to protect the engine.
Well, it looks like Ken Muscatel's got some problems, too. He went down before the start of the race, sitting dead in the water from our Labatt Blue Eye in the Sky. There you see the front runner, the Red Rocket, as it's called by its crew, Mark Evans. And that extended scoop seems to be doing the job. I like the way Mark has sort of lightened the boat up a little bit. He's using that canard wing. That flies the boat a little bit, but also keeps it in good balance and keeps the nose down.
Here is Mike Jones and Miss Exide currently running in third place.
Here's the 1991 winner, Scott Pierce, in a boat that's relatively new. He is running in second place in the Miss Bonds.
As we look at our leader, his Zodiac lap speed, 150 mile an hour for Mark Evans in Miss Budweiser.
As we look down from the Labatt Blue Eye in the Sky, it's a good opportunity to see Mission Bay, a little bit more of it. Excellent water here. One of the reasons is because it's beaches on all sides but one, so the water dissipates against the beach. It doesn't hit a wall and then bounce back out. It's extremely good water. It is salt water, which presents a little problem, as we said earlier, but so far the boats are handling it beautifully. Scott Pierce in second place in the Miss Bonds. He's a guy that knows this course well, having been a past winner here. Mark Evans would like to be a past winner here next year. He'd like to get the championship this year in the Miss Budweiser. He's doing a great job of driving. He's coming around now in for the checkered flag. This will be a great way to start his day. Mark Evans, who we talked to at the very opening of the show, the #1 on the front of that boat. He'd like to do his best to keep it in #1, and he does it for the first heat of the day. Mark Evans in the Miss Budweiser. Scott Pierce in the Miss Bonds, clean for second place.
Now let's check our Fiddle Loom results for Heat 1B. There is the order of finish and the points they earned in the right column. Mill Bay Casino did not start for Todd Yarling as he's being towed back. Ditto for Ken Muscatel in the computers and applications. Let's go to the dock.
Hey, what is this? An easy win?
Days of the ways. Finally we got a good lane draw, and that's part of racing too. So sorry the rest of the guys couldn't get out there and run with us, but made for an easy win for Budweiser and accumulate the points and sets us up for the final.
But alas, it is early in the day. We've got a lot more racing to go. Stay with us, and we'll be back from Mission Bay in just a moment. Welcome back to Mission Bay in San Diego, California. Dick Griffin along with Jim Hendrick and Steve Montgomery. And Jim, this looks like a preview of the final.
Yes, it does. Lane 1, Pico America Dream, Dave Vilwalk. Lane 2, Mark Evans and Miss Budweiser. Lane 3, Smoker Joe's with Mark Tate. Lane 4, Ken Muscatel. In computers and applications, on the outside, Mike Jones and Miss Exide.
Right off the bat, it looks like Smokin' Joe's is trying to establish a little precedent here. Mark Tate has taken the lead going down into turn #1. The blue boat on the inside of the course to the right of your screen. Now coming up on the center is Pico American Dream, and that's the battle up front. Smokin' Joe's and Pico American Dream right behind him in the middle. None other than Miss Budweiser with Mark Evans.
Look at that camera shot of this race coming down the back chute for lap #1. From inside the Smokin' Joe's, we look at Pico American Dream on the right side leading. Smokin' Joe's second, Budweiser third. And remember, 3 laps in preliminary competition, 5 laps in the final. Our Zodiac lap speed for lap #1 on Pico American Dream is 154 miles an hour.
And with the 2 boats behind him, the Miss Budweiser and the Smokin' Joe's, he cannot let up at all. Pico American Dream, Dave Vilwalk has to keep pushing. There you see the view from inside the Smokin' Joe's, the Rooster Tails off to his left of the lead boat, Pico American Dream.
Whoa, a little bouncing from the second place Smokin' Joe's. Is he trying to catch the Pico?
It looks like there's some rough spots on the course. The water generally looks very good. The Miss Budweiser has now gone inside. Budweiser is held right in there in third place, and now he's moved on to the inside of the course. He's inside the rooster tail of the Pico American Dream. Here's the 4th place boat. That was Ken Muscatel. Here's your leader, Pico American Dream. Watch him as he goes through the turn. Boy, I'll tell you, Dave Vilwalk has great confidence in the handling of that boat.
Oh, look at the water. Smokin' Joe's is taking on and trying to challenge the Pico American Dream with that checker flag just moments away. And the Budweiser on the inside challenging for second. Pico is now in the center slide. Look at Smokin' Joe. Come on.
As we look down from the Labatt Blue Eye in the sky, it is a neck-and-neck race on the inside. The blue boat is the Pico American Dream. Just to his right is the Smokin' Joe's, and it looks like Pico pulls him on the corner. He gets a good ride on the buoy line, and he's got the advantage going down the back stretch. This guy, Mark Evans, has stayed right up in the front with those front pack leaders.
Remember, the boat on the inside of this short way around the course, if you get lane 1, it's always hard to win in lane #2.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Pico came into that turn, and he was really dancing that boat around. As we said earlier, with the 2 boats behind him so close, he can't let up at all. One brief hesitation, and he could lose it. But he won't lose it this time around. The checkered flag is out. There it is for Pico American Dream. Dave Vilwalk gets back on track after a rough start in the first heat when he was penalized a lap. Second place, Smokin' Joe's. Third place will go out to Mark Evans in the Miss Budweiser. A good run for Pico American Dream. Fred Leland, the owner of the boat, happy on the sidelines.
For the Loom scoreboard with the cumulative points shows Pico the winner, Smokin' Joe's, Budweiser, computers and applications, and Miss Exide.
The winner is coming in at the dock. Let's go down to Steve Montgomery.
David, you have been from the outhouse to the penthouse a couple of times this weekend. That was close.
Yeah, the crew did a great job. You know, it didn't look like we were going to make it there for a while, but, you know, they thrashed. We had a problem with oil pressure in one motor. We had to switch motors there in about 5 minutes. Throw it in the creek, and, you know, they gave me a good piece once again.
Were you trying to help Mark Evans a little bit back there get up into second place?
Well, I'm not just running my tail off, you know, just trying to find some smooth water someplace. And again, crew did a great job.
Well, apparently the course is starting to get a little rough. Scott Pierce will like to hear that information. He'll use it as he gets ready to go out and race. We'll be back in a moment. One of the prettiest sights in all of racing, no matter what you're talking about, the unlimited hydroplanes coming down for a start on Mission Bay in San Diego, California. This is the second Heat B section.
In lane 1, it'll be the Appalachian Geronimo with Mitch Evans. Lane 2, Jim Harvey Motorsports, Steve David. Scott Pierce in the middle and Miss Vaughns. Dual Tools, Mike Hanson, lane 4. And on the outside, Todd Yarling in Chelan's Mill Bay Casino.
And you can see Todd Yarling did not make it. He's still at the dock in the Chelan's Mill Bay Casino as the green flag flies. It's going to be Mike Hanson of Madison, Indiana, in the city-owned DeWalt Tools boat taking the lead. This is a boat that also has won out on this course before. Mike Hanson came from the trailer position a couple of years ago, 15 seconds off the front runners, and took the win. This is the view from inside the Harvey Motorsports team boat driven by Steve David. Boy, you could really see how that cowling extended over the cockpit area. Third place is the Miss Vaughns, and there's the battle for the lead. On the inside, the predominantly black boat is the Harvey Motorsports boat. The predominantly yellow boat taking the lead right now is Mike Hanson in the DeWalt Tools. Look at them tie it up again as they go into the turn.
Deck-to-deck racing deck here on this 2.5-mile saltwater oval. Mission Bay, San Diego, and once again, DeWalt comes off the corner in first place. Down the back chute, he will have the lead.
Once again, these boats cannot let up at all. A mistake by either one of them would be a problem. The speed of the Harvey Motorsports boat, 153 miles per hour on our Zodiac watches. A good ride for Stephen David. He's on the inside of the Rooster Tail, which is to the right of him. The Rooster Tail off the DeWalt Tools boat. Look at him. He's chipping away again, coming up on the inside.
DeWalt Tools qualified at 156. Jim Harvey Motorsports challenging for the lead, about 6 miles an hour slower, and qualifications at 150 miles an hour.
The third place boat, you saw it there momentarily, the Miss Vaughns, but look at this battle up front. Is that ever gorgeous? You can see the air underneath these hulls. We talk about the little bit of surface in the bottom half of the propeller that actually is touching the water, and you see it there. Look at how that extra scoop on the front of the Harvey Motorsports team boat is bouncing around up there. It's just a fiberglass molded piece that goes over it to extend the scoop. Look at this battle side by side. These two drivers are doing a great job.
Boy, I'll tell you, the fans along the shores of Fiesta Island and Vacation Isle are really enjoying this one here today.
Viewing the race in person, there are points where those two boats appear as one. One Rooster Tail, one boat, and then all of a sudden you see that, get the right perspective on it, and they separate out. Great job of driving by Steve David, who at the moment has got the lead. DeWalt Tools trying to catch him again. Look at the flight of Scott Pierce in the Miss Vaughns in third place. Coming down now for the checkered flag, Steve David about to take a win here in Mission Bay, San Diego, California. This boat has not had a great year. They've had a couple of heat wins. They've always been up near the front, but this time around it looks like Stephen David, as you look through what he sees in the cockpit, is going to go and take that checkered flag for a heat win, and that'll be a great moment for the Jim Harvey Motorsports team. There's the checkered flag, and Steve David does the job. He's got to be feeling good. Look, he's got a little damage on the back wing there. I think that was before the boat was put into water, though. I think it came out that way. Very, very happy for the DeWalt team. Look at that. They congratulate each other down on the dock, the various pit crews. I'll tell you, it's competition on the course, but it's family in the pits.
Prevailing on the course, Steve David in Jim Harvey Motorsports averaged 2 miles an hour faster than Mike Hanson and DeWalt Tools in winning the heat. 149.3 mile an hour average. As we look at the Fruit of the Loom finish, the accumulative points, starting with 625, are the points earned for the day. Now let's go down to the docks.
Hey.
Steve, he qualified a little faster than you did, but you beat him when it counts, huh?
Yeah, you know, what really counts is Sunday, come time to the race, and this crew, regardless of the adversities, able to pull it all together. Good race, Mike.
Hell of a job.
I'm telling you, this guy is one heck of a guy to race against. I'm going to tell you, DeWalt couldn't have found a better driver than this guy in that team, and we love racing with him, and he made me do everything I had, and he did everything he had, and that's the kind of boat racing I think Mike and I both enjoy.
No, we've had a heck of a boat race with Steve all year long, and in the last 3 races we've been on the inside of him, so we've had the advantage. Well, today he got the inside, and we're just that evenly matched.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But I gotta congratulate DeWalt for picking this guy and this team, though. They did a super job, and we hope to get as good of a sponsor as those guys in the future.
Well, here's one of the most beautiful sights in California, La Jolla Beach, just north of Mission Bay. We'll be back to more unlimited hydroplane racing in just a moment.
From the outside, it'll be Miss Excited Mike Jones and the Pace Boat. Happy in Geronimo with Mitch Evans in lane 4. Lane 3, Scott Pierce and Miss Vaughns. In lane 2, it's Budweiser with Mark Evans. On the inside, Smokin' Joe's with Mark Tate.
Smokin' Joe's ends up in lane number 1. That's usually the favorite lane. I know the owner of the boat has to be happy.
Steve, a win right here would put you in the driver's seat. This is a big heat, huh?
Well, you know, they're all big, and yeah, it would be nice that it'd give us lane choice for the final, and you know, the inside on this race course is definitely the place to be, so we're going to try for it anyway.
Steve Woomer, owner of Smokin' Joe's. The lineup looks good, and it's going to be a green flag. They are off and running. This is going to be a tough heat. They're going to have high speeds because the competition is stiff. On the inside, watch Smokin' Joe's. It looks like Smokin' Joe's is going to take the lead into the turn, and he does. Mark Tate powers on. Boy, did you see that boat as he grabbed it onto the hook. And for the fans who are watching for the first time, the hook is actually a giant skid fin that sits on the inside of the left sponson. As the boat tends to slide outside to the right, that skid fin literally grabs a hold. You can see another rooster tail when the boats go into turn where that skid fin is grabbing. Miss Budweiser, trying to catch up now, has had a very good run on the course so far today, but the leader is Smokin' Joe's.
And as Steve Woomer said, he wants his boat on the inside. That's the place to be. We're looking inside the cockpit of the Smokin' Joe's. Nobody in front of him as he leads the Miss Budweiser by about 1.5 seconds.
Now, Jim, we talked earlier about how the water is smoother here in Mission Bay because it doesn't come back off the banks of the various islands. As we look at our Zodiac lap speed of 157 miles per hour, that puts him at about 200 miles an hour on the straightaways. First place, Smokin' Joe's. Second, the Miss Budweiser. Third, Scott Pierce in the Miss Vaughns. We were talking about the water. It looks very smooth right there. But as the boats go through it, they're moving so fast, the wakes don't really have a chance to settle down, so they come back into their own wakes as they complete the lap. So it does tend to roughen up a little bit, and you can see right there some water went over the bow of the Smokin' Joe's. These boats are actually going a football field a second.
They'll slow down about 40 miles an hour when they hit the turn, and they never take their foot off the gas. They just keep that accelerator down. As we look from our Labatt's Blue Eye in the sky, you can see the lead between the boat in the lower left stream, which is Smokin' Joe's, and Mark Evans has decided to sit in second and pick up 300 points toward the final.
As you look down from the helicopter, you could actually see some of that wake still trying to settle down in the corners, and that's what the lead boat is hitting at the moment. The straightaways are a lot better. Look at the wake that Miss Budweiser has to go through, but I think you're right. I think he's settled down to second place. 158 miles per hour, our Zodiac lap speed for the Smokin' Joe's. Mark Tate is having just about a perfect ride in that boat.
And it's the fastest laps of the day. As we look at the complete oval of our 2.5-mile course, you can see where the boats mark out the mile straightaways and the quarter-mile turns.
Here is your lead boat, and he'll be coming down for the checkered flag. Smokin' Joe's, Mark Tate, another win on the day. So far, it is his kind of day for sure. You can hear the fireworks going off in the background. They fire them off every time when there's a win here on Mission Bay. The pit crew and the owner celebrating the win. There's your third-place boat, the Miss Vaughns. Here's your finish.
The Fruit of the Loom scoreboard with 1,100 accumulative points for Smokin' Joe's on the day, with 2 firsts and a second. Miss Budweiser, Miss Vaughns in that order for the top 3.
The 3A boats are coming in. We're getting ready for the drivers to get into their boats for Heat 3B. Steve and David getting ready as ever. Let's go down to the other dock and talk to the winner, Mark Tate.
Pull him in, Johnny. There you go.
Mark, that's going to give you first lane choice in the final. Any question about lane 1?
Well, I definitely think we'll take lane 1 in the final. We had a good race boat there, and we might make a little adjustment for the final and have a little more speed. But right now, I'm very pleased with the Camel Power Smoking Joe boat and team.
The DeWalt Tools boat is a beehive of activity as they work on a rudder repair. We'll be back to see how that boat does in the next heat in a moment.